Here we go now.
La la la. La 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 la. Guys, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, and also let me know where you are watching from, and let me know how you would rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine from 1 to 10. Next week is the season finale. The reunion looks came out last week, and I talked about it during our Hot Topics lunch hour on YouTube. So if you missed it, we had 2 last week. We did talk about the reunion looks, but I did not show them and rate them with you like we normally would do. So I do want to talk about that. But first, as always, don't forget to like the video. It's easy, it's free, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is a subscribers only live chat. And if you missed it, we were live earlier for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, and I was on Layla Lynn's YouTube channel with Grace Report talking about the season premiere of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So be sure to check that out as well. Today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. As you know, my Mondays are usually pretty jam-packed, but today is definitely jam-packed. And as you also saw, I only had a little bit of time between our RHOA recap and our Married to Medicine recap. So Factor Meals makes it easy to have a chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meal fit for my lifestyle that I can do in just 2 minutes. I also love their add-ons. I love their ginger shots and all these other cold pressed drinks that they offer. Shout out to Factor Meals for sponsoring today. But of course, we have gotten you a discount. Of course, eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. Shout out to them for sponsoring today. Okay? All right. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine, how would you rate it? Look, I think if it was just about the sweet tea and quad drama of it all, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed this episode. I did enjoy the fact that Dr. Heavenly and Contessa did sit down for the first time this season to have a conversation. It seems that we made some headway until we get to the diabetes event. For me, what saved the episode is what people love about Married to Medicine is when they do these collaborations as doctors and they give back to the community. Because a lot of people said the medicine is missing. And literally, as I'm watching the show, I'm like, yeah, we've really leaned into too much of the drama and very little of the medicine. And if you go back to the early years of Married to Medicine, it felt like there was more of a balance of drama and medicine. And now we're watching more drama that is just not even entertaining drama, no matter how many times Dr. Heavenly would like to produce it. That's probably the problem, is that we're having reality TV personalities produced versus actual reality TV producers. So, if I had to rate this week's episode, the diabetes event probably saved it for me. I would definitely probably give it like a 7. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I think that was the best part of the episode for me, and also the conversation between Dr. Contessa and Dr. Heavenly. I did finally get a chance to watch the Sweet Tea and Dr. Contessa full interview over the week. I was busy this weekend. I caught up on a lot of stuff. including the traitors. I did talk about the traitors on the season finale and the reunion on our Apple subscription. Shout out to those of you that have already subscribed. I did take it out. And shout out to those of you that are taking advantage of the free 3-day trial. Go check it out. There's already 4 episodes of the White Lotus recaps, but also the traitors we talked about. And that's where I'm going to be spilling tea and talking about things that I don't talk about anywhere else. All right. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right. Antho says that it was barely a 6. Well, maybe I was being generous. I gave them a boost because of the diabetes event. Okay. So Philly John says 7 is fair. Yeah, I thought it wasn't great. It wasn't their best episode, but it was definitely not their worst. I'm really happy, though, that they said next week is the season finale, because I was already over okay, now we got to pick sides between, are we team Sweet Tea, or are we team Quad, or team Dr. Gregory, or whatever it may be. And that's what the theme of this episode was about, was the group talking about, okay, they just want Dr. Gregory to drop the charges so that they all can film together. I don't know how you guys feel about that in regards to... We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Before we even get to the episode, I do want to talk about the reunion looks. Okay, so let's just quickly go through that, and be sure to let me know how you would rate the reunion looks from 1 to 10. There have been lots and lots of opinions. I've already done short content on the reunion looks, and I clap back at a few people. They're like, "You lost me when you rated this one." This is my opinion. You might like something. You don't have to degrade someone's opinion in order to validate your own. You can just have your own opinion. You don't have to call someone a hater. That's sophomoric. That's immature. You don't have to degrade someone else's opinion in order to validate your own. You can be like, well, you know what? I don't agree with that. This is what I thought of these particular looks. You don't have to be like, you have no sense of fashion. You lost me. You can just have your opinion without having to downgrade or insult someone else's. Just an FYI. All right, let's take a look at these reunion looks really quickly, okay? For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Married to Medicine reunion looks. Yes, Phaedra Parks was not there. Phaedra Parks, okay, let's talk about Phaedra Parks, okay? Exactly, Mr. Millenback says, Kempire, do the Tamara and say it's my opinion. Tamara supposedly has quit Real Housewives of Orange County. No, she hasn't. She's so thirsty for attention. It's so sad. In regards to speaking of Phaedra, so Phaedra was at the Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere party, and they asked her about Married to Medicine. And Phaedra really wants to be, she's like, oh, miserable in medicine to those ladies. You were saying the same thing about RHOA when you weren't there. And now that you're there, like, Phaedra has no loyalty to anyone. I would never trust her with anything. Because before, RHOA was the sinking Titanic. Now all of a sudden, oh, I don't think it's that bad. You call them the sinking Titanic. Now all of a sudden, the miserable in medicine over there. If you didn't have if Candy was still over in RHOA, you would be dealing with what you could deal with over there in Married to Medicine. Trust and believe. I just don't like the hypocrisy. It's one thing if you like Phaedra, but even if I like someone, I would call them out on their hypocrisy. Miserable in medicine. Girl. We'll see what exactly you bring to Real Housewives of Atlanta in the 2 weeks that you were there. But like I said before, exactly what I predicted for Married to Medicine is exactly what she gave. Nothing.
What is this, honey?
Nothing. Nothing. All right. So back to this. Let's take a look at these reunion looks, okay? All right. I'm in no particular order. And you guys will let me know in the live chat. For those of you that have already seen the reunion looks, you can see them on our YouTube channel. We're live there right now. You can let me know your rating from 1 to 10. And again, you can have your rating without arguing with people. We are grown, okay? Some of us. All right, let's take a look at Toya's look. So the theme was Bridgerton, because you know her 16th anniversary, which will be the season finale, was Bridgerton. So they were supposed to inspire Bridgerton. So when you think about that, Toya's dress makes a little bit more sense. I don't know if I like the pose. I don't know if I love the hair and makeup. It could be just the photo. Live and in person, I might feel very differently. But if we're going with like a modern theme to Bridgerton, I mean, it falls in line. It doesn't look bad. It's not terrible. It's not my favorite of the looks. But if this is supposed to be inspired by Bridgerton, makes sense. I'm gonna give this an 8. Yep. And if my rating is different than last time, it's because it's authentic to the moment. Okay. Dr. Heavenly, who had a lot of opinions on the ladies' reunion looks last week, she dogged out Dr. Simone's reunion look. She was like so mad about Dr. Simone's reunion look. You would have thought Dr. Simone did something to her. Like Dr. Simone threw paint on her dress or something. I'm like, okay, all right. But I will say this. I mean, this dress is not necessarily giving me Bridgerton, Dr. Heavenly's dress, but I like the dress. I think the body is bodying. I think the hair and makeup looks great. I hate the choker. The choke is what ruined this dress for me. If she didn't have the choker on, I probably would feel a little bit better about this look. It's the choker for me. Dr. Heavenly said that the choker was part of the Bridgerton theme. Okay, Dr. Heavenly. She thought she should have had her hair up. Okay. I don't think that's the problem here. How would you guys rate this look? I would probably, it wasn't a bad look. Again, the choker's throwing me off, so I can't give her anything more than an 8. So I'm going to give her a 7.5. I think this was just fine. I think everything else was fine. The choker ruined the look for me. Dr. Simone. So Dr. Heavenly had a lot to say about Dr. Simone's look. Again, this is a look I need to see in person. I like her hair and makeup in here. I think she looks beautiful. The dress, it's fine to me. I mean, I think the more you look at the dress, you're sort of like, are these flaws? Does this make sense? Like the illusion mesh, the opening, is it supposed to be that little small opening? Is the shoulder supposed to be sagging like that, or it should be up more? I don't know. It's not the worst look she's had. I mean, her hair and makeup for me, and the fact that this is safe for me. This is safe. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I'm just looking at the dress like, I don't love this dress. And it's really more so this part, like the bodice of the top part and the shoulder. I'm gonna give this a 7. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 7. But I love her hair and makeup. I think her hair and makeup looks great. Oh damn, I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that one. We'll get back to Sweet Tea because there's been so many opinions. There's been so many opinions on Sweet Tea. Let's talk about Dr. Mimi. So Dr. Mimi, I did see more pictures of Dr. Mimi's look. So when I first saw it, I based it off of this picture, and I didn't love her makeup in this one. It felt like she was wearing too much makeup. But when I saw other photos of her look, it looked better, the makeup. Okay. Antho says, Kempire, that ish is ugly. He's talking about Dr. Simone's look, okay? I will say this, Dr. Mimi's look, I love her dress. I love her dress. It's definitely a modern take on a Bridgerton look. I like her look. It's probably one of my faves from this. Okay. I'm gonna give Mimi, still because I don't love this photo in regards to her makeup, but I'm gonna give her an 8.5. Look, I'm gonna give her an 8.5. Yeah, I'm gonna give Dr. Mimi 8.5. How are we feeling about Dr. Mimi though? Now it's about to be the season finale. Again, she's been solid, but solid TV, solid what? I don't know. Based off what we've seen, if anything, I like her husband more because he's a little bit more vocal. But all right, all right. I don't know, Dr. Mimi. We'll see. Dr. Contessa. Dr. Contessa, based off the theme, Dr. Contessa, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Because when you find out it's the Bridgerton theme, yes, it's a beautiful dress, beautiful body, hair, makeup look great, but it's not to the theme. This is not giving me Bridgerton. But we already know with Dr. Contessa, she's not really great with a theme. We saw what she did with Beyonce. So solid. It's a solid look. I think she looks beautiful, but it's not Bridgerton. A lot of them didn't get the Bridgerton part right. I still like this look though, so I'm gonna give her an 8. It's one of my favorite looks. I'm gonna give her an 8. Quad. I was about to say Dr. Quad. Nope.
What is this, honey?
Quad. Quad was probably my favorite look. I love this look. I love the dress. It definitely gives me a modern take on Bridgerton. Hair, makeup looks great. This is one of my favorite looks. I'm gonna give this a 9.5. Yep, 9.5. Because I don't know if I love the hair. That's the only reason why I'm giving the half. I don't know if I love the hair. I don't mind the hair, but I don't know if I love it. It's definitely better than her reunion look from last season. Okay. All right. So moving on from there. So we just did Quad. Let's do Dr. Jackie. I don't know. Like, this is not a bad look. Dr. Jackie looks amazing for damn near 60, I think, right? um, it's not a bad look. I just don't love it. I don't think I love the little cutout top part. I didn't love this dress. But I think hair and makeup looks great. I think she looks great. Yeah. It's okay. It's definitely not giving Bridgerton. I don't know what it's giving. Like, I don't need to follow a theme. I'm going to give this a 7.5. I don't love it. I don't love it. It looks great, but I guess Dr. Jackie is giving what she gets during the season. Just enough. Right? Or not even enough, because some people might say not even enough. So everyone is still reacting on my social media to Sweet Tea's reunion look. Sweet Tea has since posted her own photos of this look, along with some AI Facetune. And look, when we first saw this photo, we were like, what's going on with the hair? We did get a better shot of the hair. I could see what she was trying to go for, but it didn't land for me. I think it's the pose, too. The pose is not flattering to the dress. I think the color looks great on her. The dress is just not dressing for me. And the thing is, she's looked great in some of her recent like appearances and whatnot. Lexi says a negative 25. We are not on that scale. It's from 1 to 10. Okay. I did not love this dress, and I think the hair made it worse, and I think the pose made it worse. It's sort of like court jester, like like it's weird. It's a weird pose, and it's yeah. I mean, she's gotten enough from people on social media. I don't need to chime in too much, but it's my least favorite look of all the looks. So I'm gonna give this a 5, and I think I actually gave her a point up from the last time I talked about this. I don't love it. I don't love it. I like the color, and I like the color on her skin. The hair looks. I don't know if they took these pictures after the reunion where, like, she was disheveled and mad and upset. Okay. How would you guys rate it? Some of y'all are terrible in chat. Okay. All right. Those were the Married to Medicine season 11 reunion looks. Be sure, if you're part of the replay crew, to let us know your ratings and what you thought of those looks. The reunion should be starting next week. Is the finale, so the week after next. So we're going to be talking about the reunion, and then I'll have at least my Monday afternoons back to at least working on some other things here on the channel, other than 2 recaps every Monday, which is a lot on me. And this is my 3rd live today. Okay. All right. Alright. V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says Simone knows she can do better. She has the coins. Again, money can't buy you taste. We were just talking about that with the Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Money can't buy you taste. Regina, thank you so much for the super chat. Regina says, Sweet Tea is a big part of several of the ladies' storylines. Do the ladies have any storylines without tea? No, they don't. So it makes me wonder, if Sweet Tea doesn't come back next season, what will they be, or who will they be throwing under the bus in order to create some storylines? That remains to be seen. So I don't know if Sweet Tea is going to come back next season. I feel like the big theme of this episode was the fact that this group is forcing Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory to be a part of the group because they feel as if they have to choose. And I think they're saying, basically, if you're going to force us to choose, we're going to choose Quad. Anyone else get that? That's the energy that I got. is that they want Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory, they want Dr. Gregory to drop the charges so that King can film. But I do believe the reason why Dr. Gregory even did that was so that King couldn't film, because he knew that that would hurt Quad. Bigger than anything, what would hurt Quad is not being on this show. He knew that. So I do believe that he doesn't feel threatened by King, or that King is going to do anything to him. I don't know if I believe that. I'm not saying it's not his right, though, because it's not as if they were having an argument and they were just sort of like face to face. They were separated, and then King took off his shirt and then ran towards him. So we can't pretend as if King was not aggressive. And no one's saying that Dr. Gregory wasn't aggressive too. However, King took off his shirt like he was ready to go after Dr. Gregory. No matter how, if you feel that it's right or wrong. Sidebar, was it Dr. Damon that he says, "I'd never heard of attempted assault"? Sir, you are not, come on. Y'all have heard of that before. Let's not pretend just because you don't like Dr. Gregory. We all don't like Dr. Gregory. I want to be free. We all don't. We all find him cringy. Okay? However, let's not let that blind us from, if this was a different person, we would definitely feel differently. If this was a different person, we would all feel differently. Come on. We all think he's cringy, but let's not pretend if this was another one of the husbands that we wouldn't be handling this a little bit differently or having a different of opinion. I'm going to remain consistent. I do believe that Dr. Gregory is doing this intentionally, though. But here's the thing. Don't give people the ammo to use it against you. There was no reason for King to go running after him. And for people like Dr. Heavenly that want to act like, when all of a sudden you got a medical degree, you can't fight. You are the biggest hypocrite, because you're the first one talking about Dr. Contessa and the back and forth. He's just like, oh, I'm board certified. I'm not going to be getting involved in anything like that. Excuse me? Excuse me? So you got to call the hypocrites out when you got to call the hypocrites out. All right, I'm jumping around already. Let's start at the top. So we have the scene with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. They're having their camera lunch. I honestly don't believe that Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie have ever been the same since they're falling out. Anyone else? I think they will come together. I think they are casual friends. I think they're friends for the show. I think their friendship ended when they had that falling out. I don't think their friendship ever returned. I think they will film for the sake of filming, but fine. So Dr. Simone tells Jackie that she, because Dr. Jackie's filling out these little congratulation cards to, births that she's just done. And then Dr. Jackie says, "Do you still do these?" And she's like, "No, I congratulate them in person because I'm there." And I was like, "Ooh, that was a dig," but a funny one. I literally laughed out loud at that because I was like, "Yes, Dr. Simone, that was funny. That was funny to me." Okay. All right. Lexi says, "I think they're still friends. I think they're friendly. I don't think they're as friend. They're exactly." Portia said they're not best friends anymore, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of sad that you went from being best friends. You delivered her child, even though maybe they don't see it that way because they're doctors and they deliver babies all the time. So maybe they don't see the significance in that. But who knows? Jennifer says, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, forced friends for the show. I definitely think they, of course, because they were friends before, they were close before. So it feels okay, but I don't think they're as close as they used to be. It's sad, though. Okay. D says, Dr. Heavenly says she's not going to fight on TV. I don't know if she'll fight off of TV. What's the difference? She's talking about her board certification. If she gets into a fight off of television, please understand, if charges are filed, that board certification is going to be in jeopardy. She's never said it versus TV or off TV. She's talking about her board certification. Okay? All right. Okay. Basham says, Greg tried to sun King, but got punked by King. Greg was so scared. I mean, he was. We saw it. We saw it. And no one's saying that Dr. Gregory's completely innocent because he did admit to someone's partner that you told their partner to shut the F up. And then you're standing on it and you're weirdly saying it again. And then you're weirdly doing push-ups looking at me. Letitia, 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 Letitia. Weirdo. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a video of him, but it was on mute. And I cringed just looking at the video. I was just like, I didn't even have to turn the volume up because I could hear it already. Like, oh, so cringy. Nash says, off of TV, there's no evidence. It doesn't need to be evidence if the person wants to file charges. So please understand, just because you don't put something on TV doesn't mean that you can't get in trouble or lose your certifications. All right? There are plenty of people that aren't on TV that have lost their certifications for stuff they've done outside of their job. Okay? Talking during the movie. You better not talking during the movie. Says, he's an odd man. Kay says you can hear that voice in your nightmares. Now he decided to do a song that Miss Esquire wants me to put in the soundboard. I will not do that to our audience. It's bad enough every once in a while I have to play Dr. Heavenly's clips. Now you want me to add, I said me free. Really? Weirdo. I can't. It's okay. We all got a little weird. No, we don't. We're not that weird. Come on. I was about to say we all got a little weird in us. We do, but we're not cringy like that, right? Right? Ooh. Lord, I thought to myself, because if you're here for our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, and I said, I'm going to get me a billionaire. I said, what if the billionaire's like him? No, I'll be poor. I'll just be poor.
What is this, honey?
Just keep me poor. Shoot, I ain't poor. I got my own money. Shit. Okay, let me continue to be a thousandaire. Okay, look, let me just be that, or a millionaire. We'll get to that. All right, we'll get to a millionaire on my own, a billionaire on my own. Shoot, see, Taurus. Lavender Harmony nails. Oh, pretty nails. We signed a petition, Camp. We need that song in the No. You better show me the petition. You got to show me the petition. It's not real if I don't see the petition. And you got to have more than 1,000 signatures. You know what? Chrissy says, how many super chats do we have to get to get it added to the soundboard? $500. Oh, wow. And that's low. $500 for me to add, set me free. Really? Y'all already got me singing it. All right, now it's hot in the studio. Lord. Okay. Soraya says, don't be hating on your fellow Taurus like that. Soraya, for that, you're getting blocked. Soraya, you're getting blocked. Don't remind us that he's a Taurus. He's an April Taurus, though. We don't like them. I'm kidding, April Tauruses. We just don't like him. Okay. You know what, Arjun? Nope. They got to be here in the United States. They got to be U.S. citizens. What in the Trump? I'm being facetious for those that in the beginning says, Kempire, that was cruel. That was mean. How could you? Calm down. I'm joking. All right. Heather, thank you so much for being a member for almost a year. I'm signing the petition. You're getting blocked too, Heather. I don't care if you're a member. I know, Kay. Kay says the Tauruses on Bravo are not a great representation. Candy was probably like the closest thing to what we were going to get as great representation. Other than that, these mother fathers are so disappointing. Kim Zolciak, Greg, Quad. We got 3 Tauruses though on Atlanta this season. Shamia, Angela, and Drew. Damn, Drew. Jenna said, Jenna, are we in that part, in that world yet? She said, Trump gonna stop your live camp. Lord have mercy. Let me be quiet, because we're in that twilight zone. Yep. And Kay says, and that's coming from a Scorpio who has to accept Heavenly. You don't have to accept her. She's a mess. All right. Good girl says Candy was it. What about me? I'm a good representation. I've been on reality television briefly. You know, Nisa says, Nisa says, Kempire, I might ask Simon for his green card connect so I can sign the petition. Oh my God. What is wrong with you guys? All right. I haven't even really gotten into the episode. We have the lunch between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. This is where they talk about Phaedra not wanting to be a part of the group anymore. Look, here's the thing. Yes, these women weren't the best to Phaedra, but let's stop pretending like Phaedra really wanted to be there to be friendly with these women or to become real friends with these women. She was there for her check, and they actually got the check from Phaedra, so we did get a finalization on Phaedra paid the money that was owed for the Met Gala. Her story has been wrapped up. Can we no longer talk about Phaedra and Married to Medicine? We'll talk about her on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and even then, we won't have to talk about her for a few episodes. You know what, Miss Esquire right now? Miss Esquire, you know I can't right now. Miss Esquire, thank you for the super chat. Like this comment if y'all want the sound added. You know what? LC says, I'll put my $1.99 on the soundboard. I can't stand y'all right now. Can someone keep account as to how much we have collected so far? One of the mods or someone. Chrissy, thank you so much for the super chat. Chrissy says $495 to go. Hashtag I want to be free. I hate y'all so much right now. Look, you're a lot less now. Thank you, Miss. Okay, let me shimmy. Motorboat. Ow. Oh, Lord. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. Miss Esquire says, see, I'm a Virgo. You know I'm petty. Keep the tab running. Why are they this way? Hey, Paula, watching from Jamaica. Oh, my gosh. Really? Where are we at with this tab right now? Really? Kate says, shimmy, boo, shimmy. Oh, my gosh. Miss Esquire says, we got $105, only $395 to go. Let's see. It's got to be this live, though. Don't think y'all going to be trying to run this up for weeks to come. Nope, it's got to be this live. The price going to go up by next week. Just saying. I want to be free. Oh, Lord. You know what? Universal Soul Goddess says, I got 5 on it. Y'all are a mess. Okay. Jenna says, Kemp, all this dancing today, you gotta throw your back out. I'm actually sitting right now. Earlier today I was standing. Now I'm sitting, so I'm not gonna be dancing at all. I'll shimmy in the chair. Okay. Philly Joe says we need a twerk. Not right now. Bad Galley says, come on, Virgos, I love us. Y'all are a mess. Did I tell you guys I'm gonna end up with a Virgo? I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. All right, guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of Married to Medicine. Next week is the season finale. We have this scene with Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone. They talk about Phaedra's departure and not being a part of this group. They talk about getting Phaedra's $40,000 from her. And then her last confessional, she's just like, yeah, I forgot her exact words, but basically she's like, yeah, I paid my money. Fine, okay? All right, then they talk about Dr. Gregory's new song, and then Dr. Jackie watches his video, and they react to that. Exactly, Beautiful Gem. Beautiful Gem says, Kempire said today's price is not tomorrow's price. Here y'all go in the chat. Now, all of a sudden, y'all got the coins? Okay. All of a sudden, they got the coins, TikTok. All right. We'll get to the super chats in just a second. Y'all better hope there's no copyright on that damn song. I'm gonna be free. All right, let's move on. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa sit down for a conversation. Did not see this coming, but if you've seen the way that Dr. Heavenly has talked about Contessa this season on her YouTube channel, it did seem like they made amends during the season because she was definitely giving Contessa a lot more grace than anyone else, she's had issues with. Okay, so Heavenly says that she wants Dr. Contessa to admit her wrong because Heavenly feels that she's admitted her wrong in the fallout. But Contessa says that she didn't appreciate calling Scott abusive. She said that she had told that she feels like Dr. Scott is volatile, but she never used the word abusive. How do you guys feel about the word calling your spouse volatile to a friend? I definitely don't think volatile is the same as abusive. I mean, in some cases it could be considered abusive, but she said that she never used the word abusive. But based on what we saw, Dr. Contessa, ourselves, before this whole blow up between you and Dr. Heavenly, it definitely felt like there was something going on and we were all concerned. Okay. But I will say, after watching her interview, Dr. Contessa's interview with Sweet Tea, after seeing this episode, Dr. Contessa, I don't know if she's going to be willing to be open because I feel like after everything that's happened, this is what happens with a lot of reality TV stars, and they start shutting down and they start not showing their lives. And I feel like if we do make her full time again, I'm afraid that it's going to be performative. But there's a lot of things that I really do like about Dr. Contessa, especially when we're talking about married to medicine. We have two Black doctors that are married to each other with a family, beautiful home, and their own practice. It's like they are the quintessential of what we want on this show. And she has other doctor friends. I mean, outside of this group. So I'm like I want to root for Dr. Contessa, but I'm not going to forget that she gaslit us. She gaslit us to make it seem like we didn't see what we saw. And I haven't forgotten what Carrie said, what she overheard. Remember from that season when she came back? Here y'all go. I can't with y'all right now. All right. Moving on. So they have that conversation. Contessa says that Scott is volatile, but she never used the word abusive. Contessa, so they agreed to disagree. They agreed to move forward. And I was like, all right, I don't mind this. It seems like Heavenly is willing to move forward for whatever reason, but she's not willing to move forward with Sweet Tea. I don't know what the root of that is. I know Dr. Heavenly has said on her YouTube channel that behind the scenes, they're not showing it that Sweet Tea is very physical with a lot of the other women. Okay. So she doesn't see it for Sweet Tea. I believe Heavenly used Sweet Tea, and no matter how you feel about it, she definitely I know people will be like, you can't use them. She definitely used Sweet Tea to save Quad's job. She didn't tell Sweet Tea that, fine. And now that she no longer needs Sweet Tea, she wants to be done with her. Okay. And right or wrong, I believe that's what it is. Should Sweet Tea have seen past that? Maybe, but a lot of people get used all the time, and y'all don't see past it. Lexi, please. Lexi says I would pay $400 to hear Kempire sing something else. Me too. Damn, why all these super chats and super stickers? Thank you all. Okay, we already read this one. I got 5 on it. Super chat from Ariana says this is to go against the count. I want to be free from that song. Oh, you got to deduct. Who's keeping count? You got to deduct. Thank you, Ariana, trying to save my life. Brielle, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support. Brielle, can you let us know is that for the song? Love the tea. Thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate it. Let us know if that's to go against the song or to the tally of the song. Thank you so much for the super chat. Jamaki, thank you so much. Here's my $19. What? Wait, I don't understand. Here's my I guess you meant 10. Here's my $10. Jamaki, you know what? I'm going to remember all of y'all. I'm going to remember each and every one of y'all. Dark and Lovely says, add the tab for, $20 for the song. I'm gonna block all of y'all. All y'all getting blocked and blacked. Babs, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate the support. Um, let me see. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, "Are we there yet?" Really? Here comes Tanya. Tanya, thank you so much for the super chat. Tanya says, "Adding to this fund." Really? First of all, I wish that y'all would be this generous just in general to support the channel, not to be messy. See what messy people will do? Miss Parker, thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker. We appreciate the support. Ariana, thank you so much for the super chat. She says -10 more for the count. Oh, yes, Ariana. Yes. Come on. She says, gotta save for Europe, but also need to save my ears from Greg screaming. See? Jesseline, Jesseline got a new photo. Jesseline, thank you so not added. Jesseline says not added. You know what? I'm gonna remember this. Brielle says yes, add that and this too. Block. Block and blacked. Okay. Melly, thank you so much. Sue says, let me add my coins to the song fund. Really? Are they serious right now, TikTok? What is happening right now? Here come Chrissy. Give us free and I want my shimmy. Look, shimmy. Oh. Now I'm hot in the room. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Melly, thank you so much for the super chat. Tish, Tish, you involved in this too, Tish? Tish says, remember me too, Camp. Really, Tish? Really? Are we at it yet? I haven't looked at the comments yet. I'm only reading the super chats. Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. Toya says, based on what we saw, it was definitely stuff happening behind closed doors, but I get it. You tell a friend and you don't expect them to blast you on their channel, even if it was played out on the show. She definitely gaslit us. Yeah. She's talking about Dr. Contessa and the Heavenly situation. Yeah. Heavenly is Heavenly. And what she did as a friend, wrong. But then she tried to act as if what we watched on the show, like we didn't see. And that, I think that's part of the reason why production gave her this season off. But I don't know. Do we want Dr. Contessa to return next season? What's the tally, mods? Lord. We are not past. Are we past 500? There ain't no way. Because Ariana was sending stuff to take money away. All right, let me get back to this, guys. And then we'll get back to the super chats. All right, so Heavenly, Contessa is planning this diabetes health fair and whatnot. Okay, and she says she's going to invite everyone. And Dr. Heavenly says, I think that's irresponsible because of the situation with Dr. Gregory filing charges against King. Okay, but Contessa's is like, I'm inviting everyone. I'm not going to be having to pick sides and whatnot, especially because this is supposed to be for a good cause. But when Dr. Gregory came, I was like, what was the point of him coming? At least Quad came there to do something, but maybe they did something, they just didn't show it. But I was like, what was the point? I mean, I could see the point if you're offering psychiatric services, but we never got to see that. He arrived, but then was like, okay, what are they doing? Again, we're watching a reality television show. Okay. Right, Regina? Tell them about themselves. Regina says, OMG, y'all really paying for this song? Dr. G gonna have to put it on streams. No, because then we definitely can't play it. I'm only gonna put a clip though. I'm not gonna put the full song. Just set me free. Okay, here y'all go. I am so done with y'all in the chat. All right. So Heavenly says she thinks it's irresponsible. What do you guys think? Do you think that Dr. Contessa should have invited everyone, or should she have excluded someone? And if so, who should she have excluded? I think everyone should have been invited. I get why it would be difficult because, yeah, we're talking about real life charges being pressed and a restraining order. So I could understand. I could also understand why Bravo was probably like, it's a very complicated situation. Mumu on TikTok says, yes, invite everyone. They are grown. Yeah. Okay. Let me take a sip, y'all. All right. back to this. Don't forget, guys, you can also hear an audio version of our live recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast. We just launched this special Kempire Apple podcast subscription. You do have a free 3-day trial. We are able to listen to this special Club Kempire podcast where we are breaking down the White Lotus. I just dropped the Traders season 3 finale and reunion recap. So that's also where I'll be dropping tea. Maybe that's where I'll talk about Garcelle and Bose. Just saying, there is a free 3-day trial just for this week. I think it ends like Thursday. So shout out to those of you that have been taking, a lot of you have been taking advantage of the free 3-day trial. So I appreciate that, and join us. And if you don't have an Apple product, they say you can subscribe via the website. So be sure to check that out. All right. All right. So Heavenly and Contessa, good place. Dr. Eugene and Toya at home. Dr. Eugene and Toya, at least this season, are making the most sense of anyone in this group and taking the most accountability. Okay. So Toya says that she had a conversation with Sweet Tea. We saw that conversation, and she feels like that Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea need to take some sort of accountability. Okay. Dr. Eugene got hurt. That's what we see in the initial the scene. But he brings up a valid point. He says, we got to also keep in mind, we weren't friends with Quad and King just last year. So it is kind of weird for us to be so pro Quad and so against Dr. Gregory and Sweet Tea. And I was like, that's a valid point. All of a sudden, y'all are friends. And y'all weren't friends before. Okay? So, again, for me, Toya and Dr. Eugene this season are making the most sense and probably showing the most accountability of anyone in this group. So, he brings up that fact, and he also brings up the fact that Dr. Gregory probably feels abandoned by the group. I mean, look, I definitely think there's a level of immaturity in this group and clickiness in this group. And I think Dr. Gregory's seeing for the first time that this group tolerates him. Yeah, I think some of them are friendly with him, but if they had to choose Quad over him, they're going to choose Quad. I mean, technically, they've really had chosen Quad over the years. They were still friends with her and filming with her throughout the years. They were still friends with him, but now he's kind of forced their hand. Who are you going to choose? And it seems like they are trying to tell him, can we just move on? Can you drop the charges? Because if you're forcing us to choose, you're not going to be happy with the choice. Miss Esquire says, do the guys really like Dr. G? Based off of, I think what we're seeing in this episode is them basically saying, don't make us choose because you're not going to be happy with the choice. Aren't we getting that? That's the energy that I'm getting. It's like, don't let us choose Dr. Gregory because we're going to hurt your feelings. So, like, we'll hang out with you and things like that off the show. But if we have to choose Dr. Gregory, ooh, it ain't going to be you. And honestly, I can't blame them. Because like I said to you before, would I be friends with Dr. Gregory in real life? Honestly, if I saw him on the train, I might go to the next car. What? Being honest, I think he's weird. But okay. Fine. So Toya says what she said last week. And her frustration with Sweet Tea is the fact that she feels like Sweet Tea should be able to control herself in an environment with everyone else. But I think it's a little different here, Toya. I get what you're saying, but I think it's different. If King didn't go running after Dr. Gregory, then I could be like, yeah, everyone can coexist. But no, we saw him take off his shirt and run towards Dr. Gregory. That says to me that how do I know in the next situation that we're all hanging out with that he's going to be able to control himself? Again, do we file charges? I don't know. I can't tell someone to not or to file charges. Would I have filed charges? Probably. No. I mean, if we had made contact, maybe. But I don't know if I would say I would feel safe around him. Okay. All right. Speaking of King, Quad and King at home. At least we don't have a scene with Quad washing her wig. Okay, if I'm being honest. But it was definitely giving. We got to get Quad's storyline this season. She's got a new man. So, of course, in this scene, they're talking about something that's their storyline. And their storyline is whether or not King will move in with her. She doesn't want to sell her home. He doesn't want to move in with her. He says that's not the order of things. And she's like, my man's a manly man. So, he's very traditional. He doesn't like this. Okay. But she doesn't want to give up her home. But to me, King is speaking logical. Let's get a place together. Let's buy a place together. Do you buy a place together before getting married? We've talked about this with other shows. I mean, people do it all the time, but I don't know if that's what she wants to do. Maybe let's get serious before we do that. So he says that he doesn't want to move into Quad's home. He's like, we should get our own place together and you can rent this out. But Quad doesn't want to do that. It's giving storyline. It's giving we have no other issues to talk about and we need some sort of conflict resolution. And this is what this scene was supposed to be. I don't feel like because that's the logical reason. Quad, rent out my place. I get it. It's a representation of her independence and blah, blah, blah. But now you have a man that you love and adore. You want to start a new chapter with, you have babies with. Put that sucker, add that to your portfolio. Rent that sucker out and go buy yourself a new place. And at least you still have that property. God forbid anything doesn't go right with this place. Then you can go back to your other house. Just saying. I mean, real life conversations, but I have to say, based off of the interaction, it was definitely giving storyline. And we need something to talk about. But I will say this, I miss Quad and her nephew. I'm just that was far more entertaining to me than what we saw this week or what we saw last season with her washing her wig. Bring back the nephew. Where's the nephew? Bring back the nephew, please. And thank you. OMG. Yeah. Rent it out. It's not like you have to sell it. He's not telling you to sell it. Maybe eventually sell it if you want to. If the market tells you to do that. But okay. Amanda says she wants to stay in her place. I get it. I mean, I kind of get it. But at the same time, if you're serious about this relationship, why does he have to move in with you? Lalinda, I'm vibing with you on this comment. Lalinda, thank you for being a member. Lalinda says, get rid of both couples. I'm tired of the storyline about this fight. Me too. That's why I was so excited when they said next week is the season finale. I was like, good. God forbid we have an entire season of this constant back and forth. I don't care anymore. But okay. All right. You know what else I don't care about? Dr. Simone and her sons in this apartment. Dr. Simone has no storyline at all because she refuses to talk about Tammy or finish that book because of Tammy. But here we are. The boys are keeping the condo that they're paying for, Dr. Simone and Cecil, and they're keeping it a mess. She's like, if y'all don't, now they're doing a whole new agreement after they had their original agreement. And look, they're teenage, no, not teenage. They're young men. Okay, so am I surprised that they're keeping the place dirty? No. Is this an everyday thing for a lot of other people and parents? Probably. But let me tell you something. We're watching a reality show to be entertained. I don't give a rat's about this. I was like, oh, damn, are we still on this scene? I really could go live at 4:00 on time if I could skip this scene. Let's skip because y'all probably have far more to say in the calls than me talking about the scene. So I don't want to talk about Dr. Simone in that scene. It was stupid. What I loved about this episode, my favorite part of this episode, was Dr. Contessa's health event that she was doing where they were talking about diabetes. She's the chair of the American Diabetes Association in Georgia. Did not know that. And I love what she was talking about this. Before we even get to the fair, Dr. Damon and Heavenly are talking about the whole King and Quad situation. Dr. Damon, you really lost me this season. The way that you're so pro King is so weird to me, especially having the wife that you have and the smart mouth that she has, okay? With everybody and saying all the things, okay? But here we are. Oh, hey Tia. Tia says, "Hey Kempire, it's your Dubai friend. I remember you. I'm in Thailand. I'm in Thailand. I got to see my Richie Scott, my favorite business partner. You have been keeping me entertained. I love that, Tia. Nice seeing you. Have a good time. Hey, Richie. Look, I wish I was on the trip. When does Richie get back? I got to text him. Anyway, okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. So Dr. Damon lost me this season with this whole defensive. I get it, but it feels so performative. And I don't know if it's just because I think it's more Dr. Damon's feeling has nothing to do with King. I think he's still pissed off about the situation, about the clientele. I think it's the business side and the business falling out between Dr. Gregory and Dr. Damon. And that's why he's taking King's side. And I get it. A lot of the fans and whatnot, the Quad Squad, are taking King's side. But I feel like that's the reason why Dr. Damon is taking King's side is because of the business fallout between him and Dr. Gregory. So he just doesn't see it for Dr. Gregory. And look, we can have our feelings and thoughts on how Dr. Gregory is handling this, but I feel like that's the real reason, in my opinion. Exactly. Good Girl says Damon doesn't like Greg. Yeah. But remember, they used to be friends. They used to do business. And I think because of what happened between the wives, which caused Dr. Grady to be like, I'm not going to do business with you anymore, that's why he's taking that position. So I'm kind of looking at Dr. Damon Daddy like, really? You usually are the voice of reason. Usually the voice of reason. What's happening right now? But it's okay. It's fine. Didi says, but I'm on King's side too. A lot of people are. Exactly. Mimi says Dr. G's unlikable. Not mad at Damon about that. Look, Dr. Toya says, Tanya said, Dr. Tonya Lowe. What kind of doctor are you, Dr. Tonya? What kind of doctor are you? What's your field of study? So over Dr. Simone's kids. I'm not over the kids. I'm over that as their storyline, and I know that's what you mean. But I am over that as a storyline. Mods, where are we with the set me free soundbite? Where are we with the fund? Y'all really did that? I hope come when we raising money. I hope when we raise money in June for the center for Pride Month, y'all have the same vigor and your pocketbooks are wide open to donate to a charity the way y'all donate to this. I was being facetious. TikTok, they really have been throwing the coins at me so I could add "send me free" to the soundbite. Can you believe that? They are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Dr. Diligent J says, how'd Heavenly and Contessa agree to disagree, then go right back to yeah, they do end up going back to arguing in this episode. So let's talk about this event. I thought this event was important. And I'll tell you guys, I'll be open about one of these health events that they had when I was working at the law firm. When they had this health event where like our insurance came there and they did all your vitals and stuff like that was the first time. I was in my 20s. That was the first time. Mind you, I would go to the doctor, but I don't know if I was going to the doctor regularly at that particular point. Because you're 20, I'm like, I'm young. But that was the first time that I was like, oh, your blood pressure is a little elevated. So that's when I first started really making sure I had like a team of doctors that was going for my physical every year. And that's why I think these things are actually saving lives. And I love what this company is doing in regards to checking people's vitals, but not just checking people's vitals, but giving them access to information and resources and diet. And I like seeing the doctors come together and provide their own expertise. And I love the fact that like Dr. Heavenly is talking about how diabetes can actually affect your gum health and your teeth and things like that. But you know, if you listen to the podcast, I've been talking about that for years on how your teeth affects your heart health. I don't think a lot of people realize that. And that's why it's important to go to the doctor and take care of that. But that's why it's also important to go to the doctor because heart disease is a silent killer. And like I said, if I didn't have that at the job fair that they ended up doing randomly, I wouldn't have known. I was like, oh, my blood pressure is elevated. So that really started me on my health journey and making sure I know if I'm at a certain weight, there are certain things in my body that start changing. And although I know I look slim and fit or thick and whatever, but that doesn't mean anything. You could be slim and have high blood pressure. So, and diabetes runs in my family on both sides. So it's important. Knowledge is truly power. Okay. All right. So she talks about that. And Dr. Contessa talks about her connection. And one of the things that Dr. Contessa that she mentioned was that African Americans are only 13% of the population, but we are half of the numbers when it comes to those with diabetes. I was like, ooh, that's pretty damn it's like scary. And it's again, it's a lot of things. It's access to food, it's access to certain things. That's why when people say boycott Walmart and things like in certain areas, Walmart is the only thing that people have. So then there's that. There's a lot of food deserts in these neighborhoods. Excuse me. And I remember growing up, like my neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, when you grow up in Manhattan, it's a little different. You have access, even still today. There's a lot of neighborhoods in New York City where there are food deserts and there's not a lot of access to quality food and produce and things like that. Luckily, and this is if you can economically do it, because a lot of people can't. Luckily, now you can kind of order stuff. I remember when Fresh Direct became a thing. So, yeah. All right. All right. Moving on. Okay, look at these super chats. Really right now? Lala, thank you so much for the super sticker. I don't know if you were donating. If you send a super sticker, it doesn't count. If you send a look, if you send a super sticker, it doesn't count because we don't know. You could just be wanting to support the channel. You have to clearly say what it's for. Thank you so much, Lala, for the super sticker. We appreciate your support and thank you for being a member. Tiffany, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate your support as well. Foxy, thank you so much. Foxy, thank you so much for the super sticker. It doesn't count. Thank you so much for the super chat, the super sticker. January, is that your real name? It's cute. Let's hear the song. You know what? Never mind. I take it back. It's not a cute name. A different lingo. Add, please. Thank you so much. A different lingo. Y'all really, they really gathered their coins. Eves. They really gathered their coins for me to add this damn song to the soundboard. Now I have to. April says this is not to add the song. Thank you, April. Have y'all been doing the math? Also, here's a little something to your FU fund in case you got to leave your billionaire. Yes, April. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, April. Oh, that would make me laugh. Bernice, thank you. I'd rather Contessa over most of the cast. Oh. I have to say, based on what I've seen of Contessa, I'm like, yeah. Ashley versus Storm, thank you so much for the super chat. Says I got my $5 on a Kempire. I'm sick of I'm sick of they-ish now that Phaedra gonna bring back Audra and Mariah. I don't think they're gonna bring back Mariah. I think it's because Mariah's fallout with production and the network. I wonder if Mariah is open to returning. Everyone keeps saying it. She's settled with the network. Her name is still on. I mean, they have to legally. Her name is still on the show. I mean, she's still a doctor's wife. She's still married to her husband. It would be interesting to kind of get an update on Mariah's life and what she's doing. I'm sure she's still very much involved in as a doctor's wife. I'm okay with Mariah coming back. Aiden, thank you. Yeah. Elsie says, I guess they forgot Sweet Tea is on hormones. And Dr. Contessa was the one to remind us that a couple of episodes ago. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Regina, thank you so much for the super chat. Regina says, how is that Quad has barely no storyline with her man, but more of one with T? Well, Regina, speak on it, Regina. And we see a clear example of that in this week's episode. We see a scene with Sweet Tea, not Sweet Tea, with King and Quad, and I'm like, I'd much rather see her with her nephew. Anyone else? Those scenes with her nephew were so cute and funny. I'm just saying. And I'm not taking away from Quad. I think Quad is good reality television, but I don't know. Wait, can we talk about something really quickly? But if you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call-in link for our members first. Okay, let me just do that right now because it's already almost 5:30. Damn. Where did the time go? I was trying to get out of here by 6 o'clock. Right? Yeah, Mason. It's so cute. I want to see those scenes again. I dropped the call link for members. Did you guys see on Twitter? I guess she was doing this interview and she was with King, and she had like these two buns, and then she's like, it's like two bottoms, and then she was like two bottoms, like in the gay world, blah blah blah. Did y'all pay attention to King's response? Because I didn't expect him to be like, I was like, what you know about bottoms? And look, I get it. It's 2025. The heterosexual men are knowing stuff, but I still don't know a heterosexual man that would have understood that joke. I was like, you laughing a little too hard, King. Okay. Okay. John says it is Atlanta. I don't know. I still feel like I need to go do a consensus with the heterosexual men that I know. You know what a bottom is? He laughed a little too hard from me. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait one damn second. Okay, hold on. Thank you so much for the super chat, Regina. Miss V Thomas, thank you for super chat. If Quad is so scared, maybe she should call up Portia to find out how to keep the house at all means necessary. I mean, you're not lying. I have to say, I have to give Portia credit for that. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Next season has to be a shakeup because every season it feels like the only storyline is them trying to kick someone off the show. I really do think now Married to Medicine does need a bit of a shakeup. It doesn't mean getting rid of everyone, but there definitely needs to be some shifts. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, I just came in, so what fun are we talking about? And add this to it. Keith, no. No. Okay, but thank you for the super chat. Y'all really a mess. Lady D, thank you so much for the super chat. Add the hook. I gotta get on my wait. I got to get on with my wife now. I got a brand new life now. Really? Miss Esquire, here go Miss Esquire again. The count is $507. I only counted fund donations. Okay, excuse me. I should have made it higher. Damn it. The Girls Club, thank you so much for the super chat. And I saw you this morning in Layla's live chat for our Real Housewives of Atlanta collab. The Girls Club says, they may get you to the 500 goal, but they can't make you play the song. Be free. Yes. Yes. But I'm a man of my word. It won't be until next week, y'all, because I can't do it now. Tanasa, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Please minus $5. I don't want the song added to the soundboard. Shout out to those of you that have really held me down, okay, in regards to taking money out of this fund that everyone was trying to raise. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We have over 1,500 of you here for our Married to Medicine recap, and plenty of you that watch the replay. I have to say the majority of the people that watch usually are the replay crew. So replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from, how you would rate this week's episode of Married to Medicine, and what you thought of the reunion looks as well. Okay? Sorry, y'all. I gotta shave my beard. My beard is too long. It's like itching me. It's like annoying. I meant to shave it before this, but live. Okay. Oh, damn. The backstage is full. We haven't even dropped the call link for the general audience. All right. So at this event, they're all, I have to say, this is what I enjoyed about the event. Everyone is sharing their expertise and how it's related to diabetes. I love seeing that. Then the group ends up talking about this whole rift between Sweet Tea, Quad, Dr. Gregory, and King. Okay. And Quad is like, I can't be here if I don't have my safety net. I forgot what she referred to him as. Okay. And Dr. Contessa, how do you guys feel about Dr. Contessa and her stance? Because I feel like Dr. Contessa was sort of like twerking on a fence. Like she sees Quad's side, but at the same time, she doesn't want to alienate Sweet Tea. She's probably like me, like just twerking on the fence in regards to it. But then Heavenly chimes in, not when charges are involved, which I mean, yeah, when charges are involved, that does make things a little bit more complicated. And I do believe that Dr. Gregory did that intentionally. Do I think that Dr. Gregory is scared of King? Yes. Do I think he would have still filmed? Yes. I think he wanted to use this to get back at Quad because he knew if he files charges, because I'm sure he probably first went to the network and was just like, I can't film with him. I don't want to film with him. And in order to make sure that doesn't happen, he decided to file charges. But here's the thing, filing charges, and again, your actions have consequences. However, the situation is serious. Lord. The situation is serious because he could, if this was to move forward, he could serve time in jail. This could be on his record. So then there's that. So the guys end up having a side conversation with Dr. Gregory about the situation, because what we see is Quad ends up leaving, but we also see Sweet Tea and Dr. Gregory coming. So Dr. Gregory has a conversation with the men, because the men beforehand were having a conversation about this, and Dr. Gregory had said that he feels like the only one that could fix this is Quad. And Steven, Dr. Mimi's husband, first of all, he doesn't feel charges should have been filed. When he speaks to Dr. Gregory about it, he was like, it was a little disagreement. I mean, it was definitely more than a little disagreement. It almost did come to blows. It didn't actually become physical, but it could have definitely come to blows. Okay. So inside, the women are trying to have a conversation with Sweet Tea when she arrives, and Sweet Tea says that she doesn't always feel mentally safe in this group. All right. Contessa says that Sweet Tea, in her confession, she says she doesn't think that Sweet Tea sees value in this group. I think a lot of us kind of looking at this group doesn't see value in this group either, because we can't see value in this group when this group are like a bunch of mean girls that are pushing people out that don't fit in with them. Like, would you see value in this group? Especially when these are supposed to be educated, well-versed, women of a particular age, and they're just doing mean girl behavior? I wouldn't see value in this group. I used to see value in this group watching this show. 11 seasons later, I'm like, I don't see the value in this group. I see the value in their work, like when we're talking about diabetes and what they're doing there. That's when I see it, and I think production and the network are the ones that ruined this show. They've decided to focus so much on the drama, and I get it. That's what sells. But I also think they could have leaned into making the show more medically focused, because there's so much drama in the medical world too, and it's just gone. Like, now we're focused on a whole situation that people are now bored with. So what are we going to do next season? What are we going to talk about next season? Yeah, Des says that sounded very manipulative and scary when Dr. Gregory says that Quad is the only one who can fix this. Yeah. And that's where the guys are sort of like, no, this has nothing to do with Quad. This has to do with Dr. Gregory and King. King apparently has said that he's ready to move forward. So Steve asked Dr. Gregory, is he willing to drop the charges? And basically he says he's not willing to. He didn't say no, but he was like, I don't know if I could do that. And Steve says now the group is being forced to pick a side. Yeah, and I think what the underlying theme here, both inside with the women and outside with the men, is that you guys are asking us to pick a side, and you're not going to be happy when we do pick a side, because we know who they want to pick. I agree. Elsie says drama wasn't not necessary. I think what was not necessary for this show. It was unique. But then they allow some of these people to start self-producing. Mr. Melon Magic says, I will never be team Mickey Mouse and Earl Grey. Really? Blue Skies, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm over the Dr. G and Quad feud. Quad is not innocent. She started this. I think low key, Dr. G wants to humble and get back at Quad, and he will do anything to do it. Feel bad for Sweet Tea. Yeah, I could see that. Fab Mitch, thank you so much for the super chat. Please free us from the song Kempire. This is to go against it. Deduct. Mods, have we deducted? How much are we at with all the deductions? I feel like I just did my taxes. Deductions. Did you do your taxes, guys? Did you spring forward? We sprung forward on Sunday. Blanche, thank you so much for the super chat. Blanche says, just add the hilarious impersonation of the song from C Dig 1 from the Pop Roast so we don't have to actually hear Dr. Donatello's voice. I'll have to ask for permission from them in order to use that, but thank you. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We're about to get to some callers. If you had to rate this week's episode, how would you rate it from 1 to 10? I thought it was okay. Again, I probably would give it a 7, mostly because of the diabetes health fair that they did. Yeah. Tish says we can't be deducting now. Says who? Who says that you make? Who says that you make the rules? Tish says I forgot I did do my taxes. Good. Well, that means you're on time. Taxes are due next month. I did my taxes. Both my taxes are filed. Lord. Whew. Oh, okay, tax return. I wish I could say the same. No, it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing. I think we're so normalized to believe that that we should be getting tax refunds and things like that. No, that was interest-free money that we gave to the government. We got to start changing our money mindsets in regards to those tax refunds. I know people get so excited about tax refunds, but like, no, that's money that was your money. Okay. Oh, Miss Esquire says I have not done my taxes. Kempire, are you a 501c3? No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. All right, let me get to the callers. All right, let me change this. Again, callers, please respect the timer so that we're able to get to everyone. The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, our sponsors, and everything that they say is for entertainment purposes only and allegedly. Okay? All right. Let's move on. Okay, callers. Who's going? Oh, speaking of which, the culprit is backstage. Miss Esquire, what did you want to share?
Hello. How are you? Don't you feel richer? Don't you feel more expensive? Don't you feel? Don't I know you do, honey. You are $500 richer. I'm so happy for you.
Because technically, what does it call it? What is it? YouTube takes what 40-something%.
Just tell me what else. I'm like Phaedra. Just tell me what we need to get to the goal, and I'll go ahead and get you a check. And I write checks that I can cash.
Okay, what did you? Because we have a long line. What did you want to share?
Okay. All I want to say about Quad and them is that it's actually, I don't know why Quad is still in that house. I hate to bring up the tragedy of it all, but it'd be really hard for me to stay in that house after that tragedy. And I couldn't think of nothing else when they was out in that pool. So I totally understand like them needing to get their own home. She can do a prenup or they can do an agreement to buy the home if they're not married. There's so many legal avenues to protect your current property and buy a property with a partner.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah. Most smart people, when they get a property together and they're not married, you need to do like a buyer's agreement to decide how you're going to deal with it if you all no longer are in a romantic relationship, you no longer want to live together. So that the law doesn't have to decide it for you. And, I think we learned from Ariana and Tom Sandoval and a whole bunch of folks, you really do need to do that. The other thing I'll say is that I really Greg is abusive, and that last thing he said about Quad being the one was, to me, like, again, it's the reason we're in the fight. It's because King knows about the abuse. He didn't appreciate what he said to her, and now he's using abusive tactics all again. So, okay, congratulations on all your money. Bye.
Bye. Kooky, it says device is not connected. You might have to do something. I'm not sure. Twan is backstage. Twan, what's going on?
Brother, man, I finally got a chance to catch you.
Yes, what's going on? You always
here in
working.
Long Island. Huh?
I said you're always working.
Yeah, I'm here in Long Island doing some interviews for our new location. But
Excuse
I'm gonna
me.
keep it short. I find it weird that King was trying to find a way to have a moment. It's like he was begging Dr. G to talk to him so he could kind of have that moment. Quad was really messy for bringing that whole thing up. Again, producers may have a lot to do with it, but she knew what she was doing, and I feel like it was fair game. If she's addressing him, he should be able to address her back. I don't care what he said to her. He should have been able to address her back. But yeah, they turned into a bunch of mean girls. I'm not really excited for Married to Medicine like I used to. So I don't know. I'm here for the new role though. I like it so far.
Twan, they have a question for you in the chat. Miss Melvin
What
says,
they say?
Twan's voice. Sir, are you single?
Of course I'm single for the guys.
Well, he's a guy, Mr. Melanin Magic.
Oh, that's the guy. Oh, I heard something different. My bad. My
okay.
bad. Yeah, I'm single, but I live in Philly, so if you nowhere near there, I don't do a little long distance.
Oh, damn. All right,
Somebody messed that up for y'all long distance people. All right.
Thanks, Twan. Bye.
Okay.
I'm best. How y'all shooting your shot? All right, Elijah's backstage. Gonna bring Elijah up next. Elijah, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. I wanted to say, I feel like with this whole situation with Dr. G and Quad, the fact that he at the end of his confessional said that Quad is the only one that can fix this to me shows the motivation behind all of this. And I feel like people cannot like Quad. People don't have to be a part of the Quad squad. Nobody has to be to recognize that this man, this little old man with a squeaky voice, is sick. And so he wants to get back at Quad. I also think that Heavenly needed to be a little bit more classy at that doctor's event. She needs to learn how to tone it down. I don't know what she was doing with all that. Contessa, you need help, whatever. She shouldn't have done that. And I also think Contessa does what she always does and always tries to make her point get across. And I feel like she is right. Like she's twerking on both sides of the fence. And in my opinion, I'm bored of Letitia and Greg. I want them to go. I think that they're not good for reality TV. And I think that yes, King is wrong for the timing, but even Curtis admitted, I think there's certain things we're not seeing, and I think the group themselves has seen it. And so Curtis saying what he said is like Dr. G came out disrespectful to him first in the first place. So to me, it's like I understand why King did what he did and I want Mickey Mouse gone.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Elijah. Bye. Guys, let's get to 600 likes and I'll drop the call-in link for our general. Matter of fact, no, let's get to 650 likes and I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. All right. Thank you so much, Ashley versus Storm, for the super chat. If executives pushed Married to Medicine like RHOA, it'd be much better. I'd be OD with RHOA, but barely heard anything when Married to Medicine premiered. We need authenticity back. Agreed. They think they need to take a little moment with Married to Medicine before we come back in season 12. I don't think we need a year and a half off, but I definitely think there needs to be a shakeup in this cast. They're long overdue for a shakeup. Yes, they've brought people in and out. They need a little bit of a shakeup next season. All right. Jenna's backstage. We're going to bring Jenna up next. Jenna, what did you want to share? Jenna, you're muted. Jenna. All right. We'll come back to Jenna because Jenna might be with her child. Cynthia's backstage. We're going to bring Cynthia up next. Cynthia, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Kempire. I do agree with you on the shakeup. They do need a shakeup because it's becoming a little dark now.
Yeah.
It's becoming a little dark. People forget that Quad is a typical Taurus. She's stubborn. My ex-husband is a Taurus, by the way. She's not going to bend. I know, right? Taurus, for some reason we're compatible, but anyway, it didn't work out. But I don't know what Greg means by Quad will have to fix it because she's not going to bend. She's not going to beg you. I don't know who Greg thinks he is. And again, the ladies has been saying it. I don't know how any exes could film together. I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, maybe they should take a little break and regroup and start all over. But it is becoming dark. I'm not really feeling Married to Medicine anymore.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Cynthia, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Let me just double check with. Ooh, hold on. Jenna, are you there? Jenna. All right, welcome back. All right, Miss Bernice is backstage. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, what up, though?
Hey.
Let me choose my words carefully because I'm tired of Bravo showing unhealed people like it's supposed to be normal. You did it with the Sandoval thing. You did it with the Shannon and her man, and you brought his girlfriend on to antagonize her. Y'all brought Sweet Pea on here to antagonize Quad when you didn't have to. Quad and Greg are not healed from their divorce. They shouldn't be on screen together, period. Because they trigger each other too quickly. If I can still get a rise out of you, I haven't got over that hurt and that pain and that trauma. And neither has he. The trauma he inflicted on her and the trauma she inflicted on him. So I don't want to see that as a norm. That's not normal. Haven't we learned anything from Love and Marriage Huntsville? That's not normal. But other than that, it was a good show. And they only irked me when they trying to censor Sweet Tea when y'all brought her on there to be the joke.
Oh.
To be the joke. They did bring her on there to be a joke. To see how better he was with Quad than he is with her. Simple as that. Have a good day. I went over my time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. We're gonna bring Jenna up again. Jenna? Are you there, Jenna? Okay, Jenna. Last time. All right. Vanna's backstage. Vanna, what did you want to share?
I'm so tired of little.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Vanna. Vanna, you might have to drop out and call back in. Let me try Jenna again. Jenna, are you there? No, I can't hear you, Jenna.
I'm on Zoom at work. I'll call you later.
Okay. All right. Ariana's backstage. We're gonna bring Ariana up next. Ariana, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I just want to make sure that my funds did go against that stupid song. Okay, we've had enough of Greg. He's got to go, and I think that's what I agree with you. I think that's what both of the men and the women were saying. It's not working. I don't know. And yeah, this episode, I tuned out for half of it. It wasn't really all that. And sorry, I sound out of breath because I'm walking my dog.
I know that's right.
We finally have more daylight. But that's all. I just want to make sure that my funds get appropriated the correct way.
Can someone in the live chat tell me where we are with the funds, with all the deductions as well?
I saw some other deductions, so shout out to all of y'all too. We don't need it. But that's all I have. Bye, Kempire.
Thanks, Ariana. Bye. Hayata's backstage. We're gonna bring Hayat up next. Hayat, happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan, Kempire. How are you?
Oh well, how are you doing?
I'm very thirsty, but I'm good.
Oh, I know.
It's okay. I made the mistake of working out before I broke fast. I'm like, let me just get a quick workout in. No. And please don't put that song on. I'm gonna have some funds too. I don't know if did they ever say on the show how long Sweet Tea and Greg were dating before they got married?
I don't remember.
I wonder I have a feeling it was quick. And honestly, the way that I remember that she watched the show, so that means she watched the show, she saw his behavior with Quad, she saw the way he didn't take out no garbage and everything else he was doing, and the way he was talking to Quad, and she said, let me get into his DMs and tell him I'm what you want, I'm what you need. And to me, Sweet Tea, you're playing with fire. I'm actually so worried for her. I feel like if she puts all her eggs in his basket, when this show is done and she's not on it anymore, what will she?
We shall see. Hayat, thank you so much for calling in. All right, we have Lala backstage. We're going to bring Lala up next. Lala, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I was just calling to let you know that I love you and I adore you.
Thank you.
But did you see the video of Sweet Tea and Greg in the car?
We talked briefly about it, and I said I had it on mute, and I cringed.
The cringe is so forced. I don't know, but the whole cast needs to be shaken up. And I just feel like this whole season, I give him like a 8 out of 10. But if they do decide to bring Mariah back, I feel like the whole Mariah versus Quad, please, I don't want that back. Something new, something fresh, more of like what the doctor can give to the community. But that's all I really have to say.
Okay. Thanks, Lala, for calling in. All right. Let's get to. We have a long line backstage. Lord. All right. Miss Parker's backstage. We're gonna bring Miss Parker up next. Miss Parker. What did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Well. How are you?
Good. Do you have an echo on your end? I'm so sorry.
No.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to say, have you noticed how Heavenly kind of drops a bomb and then just kind of looks around to see the reaction? I've been seeing that more and more lately. And I'm just like, oh, Heavenly is just stop. But with her, with her and Contessa, like, I know I'm like beating a dead horse, but I'll never be able to unsee what I saw in season 7 and 8. And at the season 6 reunion, she was adamant. Contessa was adamant that Dr. Damon Daddy never cheated on Heavenly or never would. But in current season, he has a whole side piece with mixed babies. So my question is, was she lying then or is she lying now because they're not friends? So I struggle with that. And I'm not trying to be a Heavenly stan, but I think she personally needs to take a break from the YouTube. And I think Contessa needs to just move on and let this go and stop the gaslighting. And that's all.
Thank you, Miss
Thank
Parker.
you so much, Kempire.
Take care. I agree. I think Heavenly, I know during the season I can appreciate the recaps. I have to say I have not appreciated them this season. But definitely once the recaps once the season's over, I think you should take a break. I don't know how you have the time, but okay. All right, let's bring up Tish next. Tish, what's going on? Donator to the fund against me.
I did. I just felt like I had to stand with the people. I did. I'm sorry. But I like the other person's comment where they said to get like the spoof of it, someone else singing it. That I think that's a really good compromise.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so really quick to build off what Hayat said. I agree with everything she said, especially about Sweet Tea. But also, I want to point out that Sweet Tea was not manipulated to come onto this show. Like, she knew what she was signing up for. She knew Quad was on the show. As someone else pointed out, she watched previous episodes. People are saying, oh, they feel bad for her. Oh, that people are using her. No, she allowed herself to be used. Like, she wanted that for herself. She watched the show. She saw how abusive he was, and she still signed up to do this. So, truthfully, I'm all for being the bigger person. But I do think that when you look at it from a human perspective, from like a realistic perspective, I have a lot of grace for Quad. She was in an abusive marriage, right? We know that to be true. And now her abuser is Black on a platform with her and has brought his new wife on to taunt her. Like, that's a lot to deal with. And so while I don't agree with the way, look at me going over. I'm sorry, Kemper.
Go ahead. Finish the thought.
Okay, while I don't agree with her behavior and what she did, I can understand it. And I do think that Dr. G should have been the bigger person. Like, he's the therapist. And I know you guys say therapists are human, but I expect a certain level of maturity, intellect, responsibility from people of a certain stature. I wouldn't go to a math tutor that gets F's in math, right? So why would I go to a therapist?
Have you seen his reviews?
How is he still in business?
Tish, goodbye.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's accredited. Like, how do you still have, like, how can you still practice, right? Because also, isn't there like a moral clause? Like, I feel like there's a certain moral aspect of it when you're someone who's supposed to be helping other people where you're not an abuser. right? I had other points, but that's I'm over, so I'm gonna stop.
Thank you so much, Teej. Take care.
You too.
Bye. All right. Live chat, I'm going to drop the call, and like, even though we did not reach our goal of 650 likes, but we have 1,500 of you watching. Really? All right. Shout out to our members. We appreciate our members in the live chat. We appreciate you guys. Kookie's backstage. We're going to bring Kookie up next. Kookie, what did you want to share?
You got me just when I'm eating on this fried chicken. So I think the reunion looks were really great. I think my favorite had to be Dr. Mimi's and Quad's. Quad always looks good. It went really well with her skin tone. Sweet Tea looked at a plum fool, of course. I was disappointed for that. And I disagree with one of the comments that they brought her on the show to show how like less she was than Quad. I don't think they knew like kind of like she was not dressed like she needs some help with styling, and she seemed, I don't know, a little slow if you ask me. But she is also younger, but she just seems like not really up to par socially with them. And I don't think they fully knew that. I think they were dating for it was either a year or less before they got like married. They got engaged pretty quickly, and now they're together, they're married. So the show was kind of so. I do think that Dr. D was wrong for like swearing at Quad. I think he should have responded, but like using all the swear words and telling her to shut the F up, like you didn't have to curse and she wasn't really being like evil or nasty.
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of exacerbated the situation. And I do agree that Heavenly needs to take some time away from YouTube. It's getting ridiculous. But also at the same time, like, you know, I do appreciate it because it's just like kind of like that old crazy granny type of vibe.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Kind of like Donald Trump.
Bye, Cookie. All right, Laurel's backstage. We'll bring Laurel up next. Laurel, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So, what I was thinking was that, I know there's like a lot of opinions about like the women on the cast, and feeling like they're like pushing people out and they're against like Sweet Tea and everything. But I thought it was very interesting that the men are kind of like feeling the same way, So that was the thing that kind of stood out to me the most on the episode, because they were the ones that were there when they had that conversation on the beach, and the women weren't there.
Yep.
So they had to have like seen something to make them, I guess, be in favor of someone who they just met instead of their friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even with all the abuse allegations with Quad, they didn't really separate themselves from him then. But there was something that was said or done that maybe wasn't shown on the show that made them say, okay, well, if you're gonna like try to make us choose between the two of you guys, we're gonna choose this complete stranger. So that was kind of just interesting to me. And yeah, that's it.
Or maybe or Laurel, maybe they never liked him.
Yeah, I mean that's true too. But wasn't he like going on the show and hanging out with them sometimes?
Yeah.
In past seasons? Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully he's going next year.
Bye, Laurel. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's bring up Vanna. Vanna, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So one is, I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm going to Atlanta next week. So I can't wait to go to Publix and get some good lamb chops from the strip club. And I will say, yeah, the strip club food is good. But I'm gonna just say that. I do feel like I can see Quad's frustration as someone that went through an abusive relationship, both physically and emotionally. That I feel like this was really wrong in Bravo. I don't feel like they don't protect Black women as much as they protect these other housewives and so on and so forth. And I think her responses or how she's acting, I guess if you're in that position, you will understand why she's coming this way or why she feels this way. But I also respect the fact that King is from New York and a Jamaican, and as a Bayesian American and a stepfather that's Jamaican, that's what you're supposed to do. I do feel like Dr. Mickey Mouse needs to have several seats in his high chair and just have a quiet day. I think Sweet Tea I think she kind of plotted this. This was something that Todd set up to get it, because she kind of knew what she was getting, and that's it.
Thanks, Vanna. I'm fine. Have a good time in Atlanta. Go to Nana's Chicken and Waffle and report back. Thank you. All right. Jenna, are you back there?
I am. Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Not bad. How are you? We don't
I'm
want you
good.
to
They
lose
trying
that
to make
good
me work for
job.
my check today, honey. What'd you say?
We don't want you to lose that good job.
Right? Look, I ain't got problems. I don't want these problems with the smoke. I want to be laid off like Dr. G should be laid off of this show. Set him free and let him go elsewhere. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I will not have the Mickey Mouse slander. Don't call him Dr. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is too good for the likes of Dr. G. But anyway, I'm not going to talk heavy because I know before I've gotten on and fussed and been like the domestic violence of it all. And I was like, I think Stevie Wonder could see how horrible Dr. G is. But well, so I'm going to talk about the outfits because I don't usually get into the fashion. I'm not a fashion girly, but I think they just the outfits never look cohesive. I was just like, it does not get. I didn't even know what the theme was, and none of this gives Bridgerton really, except for like Heavenly could probably almost be the most Bridgerton, but she didn't go hard enough. She should have did what Coco Chanel said, and every time you leave the house, take something off, and she should have taken off the choker. But if she had done the big hair like the Queen from Bridgerton, like it's in the hair. They should have went for that. And I agree with some of the ladies in the chat that said, or some other folks that said, Dr. Jackie gave Lady Danbury. It's almost like if she had like if they went further and like with the Met Gala like actually had like a cane because Lady Danbury has a cane, and even if like even though Dr. Jackie like is older, like maybe that wouldn't have looked right because she's an older woman, but I think it could have been a nice cosplay. And I think everybody in the chat was also right. Sweet Tea looked like she stole Aretha Franklin's dress. She looked like an Easter basket and not in a good way. And that could have been good maybe for Bridgerton if it was tea time, but it's the reunion, and she looked like she trying to dress as old as her husband. So anyway, that's all I'm gonna leave you with. Just a little bit of light shade, just a little bit
Thanks,
kiki.
Jenna. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Keith is backstage. Let's bring Keith up next. Keith, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire. So first of all, you answered at the perfect time because I just got out of the phlebotomist chair.
You just got off the what chair?
I was with the phlebotomist. I was getting a shot.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, so you answered at the right time.
Y'all listen everywhere. Y'all take me everywhere, even places I don't need to be. Okay.
But yeah, like I was saying, I actually understand why I don't resonate with Married to Medicine as I do with a few of the other Bravo shows, and it's because many of them aren't likable. You know, like we have Dr. Simone screaming out her gums. Then we have Dr. Heavenly just screaming. Then we have Dr. Jackie, who's really boring. I mean, I feel like she's a great person to be there to give information, but she don't give anything else other than that. She would be a great teacher, you know, a great professor. Maybe she can, you know, do something like that. But I don't feel like anyone on the cast is even interesting. Even Quad, you know, it feels like she really just be trying to audition to be on the next Tyler Perry film or something. Like it doesn't really feel authentic, you know. And also, I want to say with Dr. G, I'm not surprised that as a psychiatrist he has takes or that he's a little weird because I used to work with psychiatrists and they are one of the strangest people you will meet. Like for someone that prescribes Adderall, Xanax, and other medication, you would think they would be a little bit more sustainable in the head, but I think the work gets to them. That's how I say. But thank you and have a good one.
Keith. Take care. Bye. Oh, that reminds me, I need to go to the doctor this week. Lord. All right, Michael's backstage. We'll bring Michael up next. Michael, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire. Okay. The reason why Quad can't sell the house, all right, is because after there's been a unaliving or a passing, those type of properties, especially one that high in price, is hard to unload because nobody wants to buy a cemetery. Furthermore, this is piggybacking off of Miss Esquire. I was shocked too to see that pool because I was like, why didn't she, you know, fill it in and make a memorial garden? The next thing is she has too much money invested in the house. So the house is like $2 million. And so even if her and King wanted to go and get another property, she has no money for a down payment because all of her equity is in that $2 million house. So she's actually stuck. I'm talking from experience, okay? I got a property I can't unload for the same reasons. Next thing I wanted to say is that T reminds me of Meg from Family Guy. She's like the butt of the joke. Like that's her whole purpose, is to just be a laughing stock. And I had a really good business idea for you based off of today's chat, but let me just say it real quick. Forgive me, everybody, because I know the beeper went off. But when I heard Twan call in and you can see everybody, but we can't, I think you should like one night hold like a Love is Blind type of like dating game, because you can see us, but we can't, and let us all fall in love or, you know, in like through you and the voice. And that's it. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks, Michael. That's an idea. Why don't y'all tell me the new season of Love is Blind was back? Or am I wrong? I just feel like people have been talking about Love is Blind is back. That's an idea. I'll have to check with legal about that. But we've been doing our little dating lives. We haven't done one in the last couple of weeks, but we've been doing our dating lives, talking about love, life, and dating. I just don't see if that would work on our channel because we have far more women than we have men. And most of those men are either married or gay. But the channel has been asking me to host some in-person speed dating. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, Arjun's backstage. Let's bring Arjun up next. Arjun, what did you want to share?
Hello, Kempire. I want you to know, I think her name is Letitia, the actual name, right?
Yes.
Okay, I watched a video with Contessa, and I feel like I've learned so much about her. I didn't learn nothing from the show. Like, I learned so much about sweet Letitia. I actually want to see her back. I want to see, but then I want to see her with Contessa, Dr. Contessa, because I think she has the spot that she's been looking for the last 2 seasons. So I need them back, and I feel like if they wanna, you know, if some of the cast that can go, I think it should be Dr. Simone and Toya because they're so boring. They have nothing going on.
Oh.
They have nothing going on. And Toya, I don't know, for so many seasons, I just don't even know what her storyline has been. Apart from buying houses, that's it. So yeah, also, quick, for the reunion, I'm biased, Quad and Dr. Heavenly wins. After that, Dr. Contessa looked so good.
Okay. All right.
And I wasn't a fan of Simone, Dr. Simone, no. But yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Arjun. Have a good one. All right. All right. Who was next? Oh wait, Tanya's next. Tanya, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Oh my God, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, where are you?
I am in Austin Airport about to board a flight, but who cares? Anyways, let's get to the tea. First of all, I am calling all the way, originally from St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. I'm so happy. Okay, quickly, I wanted to say I feel really bad for Sweet Tea and Quad because I don't think neither of them can be negated from the fact that Dr. G is just imposing his abuse on them just blindly. And I really don't like that they are trying to make it seem as though that is something normal. The way how he spoke to Quad, even if King didn't hear it, and the way how he spoke to T in private is scary. I work with 3 different psychiatrists currently at my job, and they do not act like that. If I were to ever see them act like that, I would run for the hills and quick and fast. And lastly, I want to say Dr. Damon Daddy, he needs to delete Heavenly's YouTube channel when she's at work. I am tired of her. He needs to also delete her Instagram page because all she does is be messy. Did you see that her and Simone had a tip on Instagram over like the fashions?
I'm not surprised, but I didn't see it.
She is just as lame as her brand. Anyways, love you, Kempire. Please come back to Atlanta.
Of course, Tanya, have a safe flight.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Y'all really call from everywhere. Matea's backstage. Matea, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing well. I've just got back from like a month of taking care of my friend. She just had her kidney transplant, so woo. But anyway, so I to be honest with you, this episode was not that good because I barely remember it. Like I'm remembering it as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I just watched it this morning on Peacock, but it's something is not there. Like when they had their little Beyonce photo shoot and all that a couple episodes back, that was like really good. I was into it, and then Contessa and Heavenly got into it. But just for some reason, the last few episodes have been like kind of like how Real Housewives of Atlanta was falling off slowly, but each episode, I feel like it's going that way. And with them doing this repeat of last season where they have to pick one or the other, it's tired.
Yeah.
And I agree, they need a cast shakeup immediately because it's becoming unbearable. It's not the show we used to like. It's not the informative show, even though yes, it was always messy, but at least they had like some really good things, like profiling Black doctors and Black professionals. Like, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I had to say, Chad.
Thank you so much, Taya. Take care.
You too.
Excuse me. All right. So we're going to bring up V next. V, what did you want to share in regards to Married to Medicine?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I have a different take when it comes to Dr. G whole situation, because I've been in a relationship with someone like him, and he may have moved on. He hates Quad. People are saying that it's love. He hates her. So he's trying to get back at her, in my opinion, because how dare you leave me? I did all this for you, and how dare you leave me? So it's like he's trying to sit around and conjure ways to get back at her. So last season, let me get back on the show with my new wife. We'll push you out the friend group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now this season, I can't get you out the friend group, but I can make sure your man don't come. So I just feel like it's just ways that he's sitting around because he's on a show that he's not getting paid. Yes, Sweet Tea getting paid, but how much is she really getting paid? You know what I mean? Like, is it really worth your time? So is the juice, what is it? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? However they say that.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. He despises her and he wants to see her suffer. And that's how I look at it. And that's coming from someone that's been in a abusive relationship with someone like him. No, he didn't put his hands on me, but he was very verbally and tried to be mentally abusive. Luckily, I was strong. And so ever since then, he tries to find ways to try to get back at me. And I moved on and did my own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just the perspective I had when it came to that situation, because I see similarities. That's it.
Thank you, V.
All right, have a good one.
You too. I want to read this comment. Hold on, where is it? Basham says, y'all don't have to watch her YouTube. Here's the thing, though. It's a little different because whatever she says on her YouTube channel, a lot of the blogs will end up picking it up and then it's broadcasted everywhere. I also feel like Dr. Heavenly's YouTube, before it used to be helpful to kind of get context of what's been happening on the show, now it's become a platform for her to be toxic. I didn't mention this here, but I'll mention it now. But we did talk about it when we talked about the Married to Medicine reunion fashions during our Hot Topics lunch hour. When she started to talk about Sweet Tea's reunion look, it's one thing not to like her reunion look, but then she started talking about, you didn't even have a baby yet, and your body is shaped like that. This is where the toxicity it's only going to get worse. And honestly, I'm surprised that she hasn't been reported multiple times for some of the things that she said on her YouTube channel. And some of the things that she said on her YouTube channel goes against YouTube guidelines. I haven't said that before, but I'm going to say it now. So it's not just about, yeah, you could switch off. Yeah, if you don't like what I'm saying, you could switch off. But am I breaking YouTube policies and procedures? She is. She has. All right, let's move on. Let's get to culture conversation. Culture conversation. What's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
So I just wanted to say, I think that a lot of people are saying that the ladies are using Sweet Tea, but the one who's really putting a knife in her back is Greg. After their conversation that day, I could kind of see her change, right? She's always been a little edgy and outspoken, but if you notice in this next episode, she was real more reserved, like whatever he says, even when she sat down with Toya and them. And I think that speaks to some of the things that's going on when the cameras are not rolling at home for her. So it really makes me fearful for her that she's kind of compromising, and a few years down the line, that's not going to be enough. And I just hope she has the strength to walk away.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Culture conversation. Thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. We're going to get to some more calls, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We also had, thank you so much. Mama Ali says the goal was reached, even with the deductions. Mama Ali, you're blocked. Shout out to our King's Guards, guys. Don't forget to say thank you to them for holding us down all the time. Not only is it a long day for me, it's a long day for them. They're both, all of our King's Guards are here, both live. So shout out to them and show appreciation for them. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. Jocelyn says, add this to the funk. Wait, did I already read this comment? You know what, Jocelyn, you about to get blocked. Speaking of culture conversations, thank you for the super chat. Culture conversation says, Sweet is not as oblivious as she pretends to be. Her and Dr. G enjoyed the way Quad was treated last year. Now they want to be seen as victims. No. I like hearing your different perspectives, guys. Tyrese, thank you so much for the super chat. Tyrese says, question for Kemp and community. Which cast members do we want to see on Married to Medicine next season, and who needs to go? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Because I don't think they're going to get rid of some of the OGs, not all at once. But I definitely think an OG does need to leave next season. Hayad, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, don't add it to the soundboard, please. Where are we at now with the deductions, Mama Ellie? Just saying. All right, let's get to some more callers, and then I'm going to get out of here. We've been live multiple times today. Don't forget, guys, I was on Layla Lynn's YouTube channel with Grace Report today, recapping the premiere episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then we, of course, recapped The Real Housewives of Atlanta here on our channel, and now we're recapping Married to Medicine. Don't forget, you can hear audio versions of our live recaps and special episodes on the Kempire podcast, and we just launched a special Club Kempire on Apple subscriptions. That's where I've been recapping The White Lotus. I will be talking about The White Lotus's latest episode later this week, so stay tuned for that. Also, I recapped a special episode of The Traitors season finale and reunion, so be sure to check that out. That's exclusively right now on our Apple subscriptions. There is a free 3-day trial right now, but that won't be for forever, okay? So check that out if you haven't already. Someone says, I want Audra back. Me too. I say that every recap. All right, Lavender's backstage. Let's bring Lavender up next. Lavender, what did you want to share?
Hi, Cam.
Hey, how are you?
Calling all the way from Nigeria just to tell you that we need to add the song to the soundboard.
You know what? What time is it in Nigeria?
It's past 11, and I'm staying up, pulling out my eyelashes because they were hurting. And next thing is they're done with tea. They're absolutely done with tea. They needed her last season just to get a quad, and now they're done. So they're going to throw her to the side. Also, Love is Blind was a mess this season. There's no need. Just let it go.
Oh, damn. Really?
All right, that's all. Bye.
Thanks, Lavender Harmony. Wow, I was going to ask Lavender Harmony if she knew any relatives from Portia, because Portia says, I got family in Nigeria. We all do. I think I'm actually more Nigerian than she is. Anyway. All right. Marquis, I'm going to bring you up next. Marquis, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Kempire. Hi, friend.
Hey.
So I'm watching Married to Medicine. I just paused it. And you know what? I noticed my remote keeps pausing on Steve, Mimi's husband.
Yeah.
His fine self. Yeah. And King in the hot tub. I don't know. Maybe my remote's broken. Because boom. Oh, yeah. Boom shakalaka. Yes, God. Please bring Mimi back for her husband, just so I can see.
He has a lot of personality, though. That's one thing I will say.
He does, and he gets along well with the other men.
Yep.
So I actually like both of them, and I think for this group, why Dr. Greg needs to leave is because of that song. Exit stage left, right, I don't care. Please go. He said, I got a new wife and I got a normal life. Why, all jokes aside, why would he do a song to be funny, but then go do something with charges or the police or do a report? So is it funny to you, or did you feel threatened? You know what I'm saying?
You recorded it and brought it to national television.
Brought
Your
it
wife
to TV,
recorded it.
Trying to be messy. So which is it? Are you guys, do you not feel safe, or are you trying to be messy? You know? That's all I gotta say, Kempire.
Thanks, Marquis. I will say this about Steve. I do agree. I like Dr. Mimi. She hasn't brought a lot when it comes to what's going on in this group. But we don't need every personality to be like, But I do like her husband. Her husband does mix well with the men. I also like his style. The confessional look that he had this week. I was like, all right, LV. All right, I see you. All right. So last but definitely not least, Fabiana. Fabiana, what did you want to share about Married to Medicine?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
And yes, I also did pay to the deduction. I want my ears for relief, not strife.
Yes.
I agree with everybody. I just did not like the episode. I am over Dr. Simone's sons. Can we do something better, please? Or the cleaning up stuff and the whole quad and sweet tea stuff. Can we just move past it? I'm not here for it, but I do agree with you. They do need to have a shakeup. But I don't know, the way these girls say they're not mean girls. Can y'all look at yourselves in the mirror and say you're not mean girls? Look at your history. Look at your past. That's all I want to say. Love you all. Bye.
Thanks, Fabiana. Have a good night. All right. I mean, it feels so weird because I can see that it's still sunlight out. That's the only thing that I do love about daylight savings time, because now we're getting a little bit closer to spring and summer and longer days. I can go for a walk after that. I mean, I can go for a walk after but when it's nighttime, when it's dark outside, I'm like, no, I need to be inside. But now I feel like I can go for a walk. Maybe. It's still chilly here. It's actually pretty warm today in New York. It's like, what, 60 something degrees or 60 degrees? No, it's 57 right now, but it was 64. Oh, rude. Let me say thank you. We had a couple of super chats, and thank you so much for the super chat. Ann says, saying hello and trust you had a lovely weekend. Just got back from lunch at DR Cafe in Dallas. It's a miss. Do visit the original in San Tropez. Okay, I'll do that when I'm done working over here, Ann. Ann living her best life, okay? SD Mac, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. SD Mac says, Dr. G is not a paid cast member. These men are not giving up their wives' check. T went running up on people too. So has Contessa. So why should Heavenly feel safe around Contessa? Ask her. Is she in personal charges? I don't know. But again, you have to remember, we are basing our opinion on what we've seen. Okay. I don't consider Sweet Tea running to the defense of her husband to be considered her running up on somebody. But okay. But yeah, look, maybe King should file some of his own charges. All right. Okay. Anyways, guys, we're almost at 800 likes. Can we get to 800 likes? Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat for the fund. I believe we hit the goal. I hope, again, come June, when we're raising money for the center, you guys will help us raise $3,000. If we could raise $500 in one live, we could raise $3,000 in the month of June for the center. I'm going to remind you of this moment, mods. Remind me of this moment, Monday, March 10th, 2025. We did raise a pretty good amount of money last year, and the center sent us a letter thanking us. I read that on live. All right. Thank you to everyone that called in. If you missed any of our live recaps today, be sure to go check those out. But don't forget, here on the channel, we don't just talk about Real Housewives or reality television. We talk about everything in pop culture. So check out all the things, the short, the content, the long content. Be sure to check out all of that. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky. Everything's TheKempire, and on Instagram. And be sure to like us on TheKempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And of course, again, thank you to our mods for being here. And thank you guys so much for raising over $500 for the fund for me to add the song Set Me Free. Y'all did that. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Parker. Ms. Parker says you have my donation in June too. Thank you. All right. Lavender says you're going to give us a song. Not right now. I'm going to have to go find the song and then add it to the soundboard. It was to add it to the soundboard, not to play it right now. Who knows? Y'all trying to get me a copyright situation. All right. All right. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget, today's live show is brought to you by our friends over at Buttah. You all have asked, Kempire, drop the skincare routine. Well, now I am. I am so excited about our new partnership with Buttah. I've been following the company for many, many years, and I know a lot of you are probably already familiar with their products. So I've been able to try their products for the last few weeks, and I have to say, I am utterly impressed. I'm not going to go through my nightly routine or my other routines, because I have a morning routine, a nightly routine, I have a weekly routine, I have a monthly routine in regards to my skincare. So there is a whole system, but you have to start somewhere. So why not start now? First of all, let me talk about my morning routine. So I gotta wash my face. You have to find the right cleanser, all right? And not all cleansers are made the same. Start with the cleanser, gives me a good lather. Once I'm doing that, another key component to your skincare, don't use the towel that you use to dry your hands or to dry your body on your face. They have these high quality, silky soft towels. You use it once and you throw it out. I love that. It's going to change your skincare routine. Once you're done with that, put on vitamin C. This is a game changer. For those that say, Kempire, your skin is glowing. Game changer, vitamin C. I will also say this, because I've tried so many different skincare products, I can tell quality versus not so quality. Quality so far from everything I've tried. There's also a very key component. And then after you've done your vitamin C, it's time to put on your moisturizer. Cocoa Shea Revitalizing Cream. I love this because I've tried some other companies and I'm not going to name them. Some are too thin or too thick or too scenty. This is perfect. And I do not say that lightly, and I'm not saying that because it's a partnership. I would tell you the truth. If you know me, you know that. Perfect consistency. When I've used this literally today, this woman that I met, she's like, oh my God, you have perfect skin. I can't tell you the amount of times that people tell me that, but here's the final and key component, sunscreen. Very important, and I love the fact that they sent me the perfect system. Sunscreen, tinted mineral sunscreen, SPF 30. SPF 90 you don't need. I don't know why they sell it, but it is what it is. So we've partnered with Buttah, and I hope that you will get you a little something. For those that have been asking, what is your skincare routine? I just gave you my morning routine. Stay tuned for the nightly routine and other things. More information on our partnership is available at buttahskin.com/Kempire. All of that information will be available in the description. Thanks, Buttah.
Here we go now.